Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is Into the Weekend with BetDSI, and right now we're going to cover the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Very excited to hear what Brent has to tell us about the 4 games coming up this weekend. All very interesting handicapping situations. Brent, KC, New England. I'm really curious here. I'm assuming the public must be on Pat's big, and maybe really big, maybe huge. Did the Sharps touch this one at all? I don't know, but there was a notable market-wide move to the under, and it's not weather-related. The weather is supposed to be, perfectly fine here. 44.5 opened, and now it's all the way down to 42 that I'm seeing market-wide. Public's huge on the Pats, right?
Not huge, no, not at all. Which
I
find kind of, it's almost suspicious behavior there, Peter. I would expect this line to be, be higher than it is. You even find out in the market, there's some -4, -15s out there. There's even 5s out there. I'm running 4.5, and it's interesting. My count is not very one-sided at all. My money is not very one-sided at all either. I do have more wagers on New England. I do have more money on New England. But if it were to kick right now, we'd be in a great position, which is kind of surprising because I would have expected more people to be on New England. They were people holding out on what's going on with Gronkowski. I don't know, but it sounds pretty sure that he's going to suit up. Same with Edelman's going to be out there. So it's kind of strange. I thought maybe they're waiting on injury information, but there was no reaction when as we're getting closer to kickoff at all. So kind of surprised by that. New England, they kind of limped into the end of the season. Their past 6, they only won 2 games, so it could be some of the luster is off them. But I don't have a lot of sharps involved in the game at all. The only thing I really got was the one play on the under 43.5 when the total went down to 43, went back up under to 43, 41.5. I think it was early in the week, back up to 43 where we are now. My count on the total is about 2-1, maybe almost 3-1 if you factor in parties and teasers and stuff like that. My money is about 2-1 on the over, but it seems like it's mostly public money betting the over. I haven't really taken, anything sharp on the over, just, kind of a pseudo-sharp bet that was under the 43.5.
All right, then we have Green Bay, Arizona. Green Bay, of course, looked great last 3 quarters of their wild card game. The line opened market wide about 7.5, took a quick jump down to 7, which is where it is now, and of course a very high total on this game. I did see some sharp books hanging 49.5 though, which indicates a lean to the under. I guess my first question, I'm assuming that the public is really liking the over here, and I'm also assuming that the initial move at 7.5 was caused by sharp action on the Packers to 7.5. Is that correct?
In this case, your assumptions are correct. Yeah, okay. You're bang on there. I've got a lot of over money that counts, probably 3-1 in favor of the over. We're sitting bouncing back and forth between 49.5 and 50 on the total. And the sharp money that came on Green Bay, actually, I wasn't out at 7.5, but 7 -120. So the sharp money I did take was on Green Bay +7 even money. So that's the only sharp money I have involved on this game, and mostly just public money on Arizona so far. My counts, it's not 2-1, but getting down to the nitty gritty, probably 1.5 times in terms of my actual wager count in favor of Arizona. My money's almost dead even in terms of the straight bets, about 1.5 in favor of Arizona. If you want to count parlays and teasers as an indication, it's almost 3-1 in favor of Arizona. The 7 seems to be a number that's working. It's been up for a long time. It took the initial hit, and it really hasn't moved. Not even juice on the 7 -15 or 7 dog 15. Nothing like that yet.
All right, so a clear sharp public split then on the side is what you're telling us. And has there been any notable action towards the under from the sharps, or have they stayed off the total?
No, I've almost nothing on the under at all. Took some nibbles at 50, and we're sitting at 49.5. I'll probably go back up to 50. Mm-hmm. The money that came in on Green Bay +7 even money was a guy who's, he's definitely on the list, but he's not one of the heaviest hitters we have involved.
Mm-hmm. But he is a list guy, though, right?
He's a list guy.
Okay, good for him. Good for him. And then Seattle, Carolina. Maybe the most interesting spread of all of these games. Of course, it opened about Panthers -3. The public, all the public opinions that I was reading about it seemed to be liking the Panthers. I admit I was one of them. It's gotten bet down, though. I'm assuming that had to have been driven by sharp action on Seattle, or no?
Yeah, this is a situation where I've got sharp action on both sides of the game, which is good.
Okay.
Because you've got the sharper guys who, you fire big, so you can take a large volume in terms of the actual amount of money you're taking on a game, and still bounce between, say, 1 and 1.5 or 2, and be kind of balanced. Now, the money we did take on Seattle came in, on Carolina came in -2, and then that got driven up all the way up to I think it was 3 -120, where we started getting nibbles back on Seattle to +3 -120, and then even a +2.5 -110. got that all the way down to like one we were earlier today, 1 -15 on Carolina. Different sharps came back, on Carolina -1, -115. So it's interesting too, because if you look at the two teams that we have the heaviest action in terms of who's going to win the Super Bowl, it's these two teams. It's kind of like the feeling is that whoever wins this game is kind of going to win the Super Bowl. And I mean, we'll see if that holds true or not. This is probably the most interesting game of the week for sure.
All right, then the craziest game of the week, Pitt, Denver. We still don't have a total out right now market wide as of Friday afternoon, and even the side has been up and down at various books. It's been seems like it's been creeping up towards Denver, but I'm assuming that just the betting volume on this game so far as of right now, Friday afternoon, is very low with all the uncertainty.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we've been talking for a couple of days now in terms of what we're doing with the number here, and it's pretty much assumed that D'Angelo Williams is out. I think actually today he officially got ruled out, so he's going to be out for sure. Brown was another guy to look at. That was a big question as well, but it all comes down to Big Ben, whether he's going to play or not. His value to the line is absolutely huge. Now they're saying if Ben was healthy, you're talking about a number here of like Denver -1.5 or 2. If Ben's going but not healthy, it's going to be like $7.15 or something, or $7.5 We just actually opened up the number, and we did open up at Denver -7.5, -15 on the dog. Pittsburgh with a total of 39. Now it's a situation again. If Ben was healthy, that total you'd be looking at like a 44. We're sitting at, we opened that at 40 actually, because he is going to be in there. Numbers down at 39 right now, so you're going to see a lot of movement on this one as well. And again, just as a public player, if I'm throwing my money out there, it's really tough to do at this point because you just don't know what you're going to get.
Seems like it's a pretty dangerous situation for you guys. I mean, you're a book that you take sharp action, you have very high limits, and you're hanging a number with all this uncertainty. The public is probably not going to give you a lot of action, but I could see you, taking some big bets from multiple sharp accounts, guys who maybe beat you to the punch on some information.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we have kind of as a defense mechanism, I mean, we're like a store, right? You've got to have products on your shelves, right? So if people come in, they're looking for this game, you got to have a number out there. So the only thing we kind of can do in our defense is circle the game for lower limits. I mean, we might have, like as of today, we're probably taking like 25-5 on the other games. This one we might start up because we just opened the number. We might start like 5-2-2, like 5,000 on the side, total money line. Tomorrow we could probably bump that up to 20. Game time we could probably double that as well. So it's a situation where, the only kind of defense we have is to, circle the game, but we definitely have to have a number out there. Again, if people come into our store, it's just like a store. You got to have products on your shelf. So we throw that up there. Denver -7.5, dog 15, total of 39. We'll see where it goes.
All right, so just to sum up the sharp action, two-way sharp action on the spread for Seattle, Carolina, then a little bit of sharp action that came in early on Green Bay, and that's basically it, right, Brent?
Yeah, that is it. I mean, like I said, there's kind of like pseudo-sharp action, we'll call it, on the Kansas City, New England under. That was under 43.5. You did see yesterday that line was all the way down to 41.5. But again, I think with Edelman and Gronkowski being more like, closer to probable, you can see that number creep back up, and that's why it's at 43 right now. But yeah, the only sharp action I took on the Green Bay game was the +7 even money. And with respect to Carolina and Seattle, it was -1, -15 on Carolina, -2 on Carolina. The sharp money that came back on Seattle was +2.5, -10, and even +3, -20 to -25.
Brent, thanks so much. As always, we will be back next week to cover the conference championships.